All right. Well, I am not the main attraction tonight. I am introducing the main attraction. But let me tell you a little bit. Bluesman, what's up, dude? Earlier. I was referring to Bluesman as Marino and telling him laces out. So some of you will get that. Laces out, Marino. Anyway, cool. All right, so my name is Ray Higdon, and I'm excited to be introducing one of the most amazing trainers in our industry, someone who just, is unbelievably awesome. But first, let me share with you a little bit of my history with MLSP. I've been with MLSP. Here's kind of my history with MLSP. Very few people know this, I think. Um, I bet hardly anybody knows this. I joined a network marketing company in July of 2009. In August of 2009, another company said, hey, we'd like to fly you out, right? And, they had seen me marketing, actually, they had seen me marketing on Facebook, and some people that I know from real estate days were trying to get me over to this other company. And so they said, we're bringing out some guys that do online stuff. I went out there and I met a couple dudes, and I heard the term My Lead System Pro, and I heard the term attraction marketing, and I'd never heard those terms. I didn't get it. And man, there's a ton of chatting going on. It's crazy. All right, let me just for a second, I'm gonna turn this off, the chat. All right, sweet. So I heard the term attraction marketing, had never heard it. I heard of My Lead System Pro, had never heard of that. And so I came home, and these guys were really smart out there, and I didn't feel that I was very smart when it comes to online marketing. And so I joined My Lead System Pro, and let me tell you, I did nothing. I went back there. I kind of scratched my head. I didn't know what I was doing, and didn't do anything. Not a darn thing. Couple months later, I recruited someone into my primary company who really got attraction marketing. This gentleman was killing it, and he kind of made me realize, oh, that's how you use it. And so I got how to use it. So I started marketing with MLSP, and here's how I did it. A lot of the people that I talked to were existing network marketers that didn't want to join my deal, right? And so all I would say is, well, how are you doing with generate leads online? And most of them would say, well, I'm not doing very well. I wish I knew how. And I'd say, well, check this out. And I would send them my MLSP link, which, by the way, I hadn't even done a custom video for. I didn't know how to replace the video. And so I hadn't done any of that. I just sent them my MLSP link, and people would sign up. And then more people signed up, and I kept talking to people. More people sign up. And pretty soon I hit L4 in MLSP, and it was just wild. And so, to me, MLSP is a great community. It is a great thing to have, because if you are an active network marketer, then you're going to talk to people that are married to their deal but want training. And unless you are at the level where you can create your own training, then you're kind of out of luck unless you have something like MLSP. So I'm a big fan. If you dig training, check out MLSP.com. I think they have a trial that you can sign up for. It's just a great company with a great culture, with great founders. Finale and Norb and Todd, just awesome dudes. I've spent some really good times with them, and so it's awesome. So let me tell you about your trainer tonight, because it's not me. I know you're so sad, aren't you? Be honest. No. The trainer tonight she has a way of training that is so powerful, because it leads to adherence. I heard an interview by Tim Ferriss not too long ago, and the gentleman asked Tim Ferriss, what is it that you hope to get? What is it you hope that people do when they read your books? And he said, I hope my main goal is adherence. And so you may be thinking, adherence, does that mean sticky? What does that mean? he meant adherence, and he explained this. He meant adherence by his stuff would get someone to change something and to do something differently in a different way. And so her training is something that anybody can really adhere to. You can follow what she trains here tonight and actually apply it to whatever business you're building. And it's very simple. You don't have to be a technical guru. She is seriously one of, you know, here's what I tell people, and I absolutely mean it. When people invite Jess to train in places that I've trained, they don't want to invite me anymore. They're just like, she is so good. And I'm telling you, she's awesome. Yes, she's my wife. Yes, I'm biased, but you are seriously going to see value tonight. I really want you to pay attention, grab a notepad. She is absolutely awesome. She is the top female earner in her company. She's the you know, really the #1 income earner in the household because she gets all of hers and half of mine, right? And she's just awesome. My wife, Jessica Higdon, I'm going to bring her out here. Yay! Here she is. Bye, guys. Enjoy your time.
Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. You're amazing. If you guys don't know my husband, which I'm sure most of you do, you know that he's absolutely awesome. So before I start here, let me see. I'm getting some feedback, and I'm going to enable the chat. I got some feedback that you can hear me, but you can't see me. So let me see what's going on here before we start. Looks like Ray's computer is, uh-oh. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see me now? Okay, good. Okay, yay. Okay, awesome. Wow, lots of people on here. So exciting. I see so many cool faces. Very cool. So they can see me now. They couldn't see us for a while for some reason. Ray just walked back in for a second. So cool. So I am so excited. I have a lot to cover tonight. So I'm going to turn off the chat here. Oh, I'm getting some really nice comments. Thank you guys. Anyway, I'm going to turn off the chat here real quick so I can get through everything. Actually, maybe I should leave it on just in case something happens. This is my first webinars on air. Really cool service. I'm really excited about it. So let me share my screen here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so let me get this PowerPoint going. Okay, can you guys see this? Let me just escape from here for a second. Tell me that you could see this if you could see this PowerPoint. Okay, great. Everyone can see it. Perfect. All right, so I will go ahead and start. I'm going to disable the chat until later when I'll ask some questions, and I'll make sure that we get that back on. Okay, perfect. So I am so excited. I have some really, really cool stuff planned for you guys. First of all, let me say that I am going to review. Because a lot of you have seen my previous webinar. Some of you haven't. I'm sure a lot of you haven't, actually. It's probably about 50-50. So I am going to review some of the previous stuff that I've talked about before because a lot of it still applies. And I know I've been getting a lot of feedback on, okay, Jess, you built this 10,000 per month business, but Facebook has changed so much since then. What do you do? And so I want you guys to know, first and foremost, that I am still practicing my Facebook recruiting. I'm still doing that. It's turned from 80 people from Facebook. It's now turned into probably hundreds of people that I've brought into this business. So I say 80 to be conservative because if I say hundreds, a lot of people don't believe it. But I am still practicing my Facebook recruiting. I just go about it a little different way, but the principles are still the same. So I want you to understand that this is not just a recruiting training. This is also a marketing training, and I'm going to get into that. So again, we're going to review about how I signed up 80 people for free into my network marketing company, keyword being free there, which is awesome. and how you can too, even with the new updates. So that's really exciting because even with the new updates, it's uh it's still so easy to get people into your business. And I say easy, and people are probably thinking, easy? What is she talking about? She's crazy. But it is. It's still so easy to get people into your business with this tactic. You just have to be consistent and be patient, and we'll talk about that. Um, and so I'm going to go over that. And then a little bonus for you guys, I'm going to talk about Google Plus. Most of you on here are very familiar with it since you're on this Hangout or this webinars on air. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that, ask a few questions to you guys, and talk about how I believe it's the way of the future and how it's got some really cool features that you might not know about. So we'll get into that as well. But again, this is a review and an update. So I'm going to be training on how you can still apply the same principles I'm going to talk about first, even with the new updates, because there are a lot of ways to maneuver from them, and I'm still recruiting. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited. Very cool. So a little bit about me. I'm going to go a little fast because I have a lot to cover tonight, a lot, and I'm really excited for it. For those of you that don't know me, I was going to school full-time, working at a makeup counter part-time, and trying to start my own makeup business when I came into network marketing because I simply couldn't find a marketing job. I interviewed a lot of places, and basically they would tell me, okay, you're going to come into this company for minimum wage because you have no experience, and you're going to work, 60, 70 hours a week, and maybe in 5 to 10 years we'll give you a raise. And oh, by the way, you'll also be easily replaced. Not cool, right? So that was what really pushed me to get into network marketing. And I just have to say, it's the best industry in the world. It's the absolute best industry in the world. Let's keep going. I had no prior business experience, so I would, hold on, I'm getting a text that somebody can't hear me. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. We're good. I'm sorry. This is our first webinars on air, so I'm excited, but also we don't know what we're doing at this point, but it's working out pretty good so far. It's a really cool service, actually. There's a lot you can do, and I'm going to be playing around with it on this webinar. So do me a favor, have fun with me on it. We appreciate that, and it's just going to be a really good time and interact with me because I'm love to play around on these things, as you know. So again, I had no prior business experience. I was young, really didn't build anything prior to getting into network marketing, so nobody respected me as a businesswoman or as somebody that would really know what to do. So that was a huge obstacle. And this is an even bigger obstacle. And I say this casually, but this was a huge obstacle for me, and so I really want you guys to take note, is that I had no warm market and no rapport with a lot of people. How many of you can relate to that? Can you raise your hand? You have a little raise hand button, I believe, on your screen. Can you raise your hand if you can relate to that? Because that is huge. I think every single person that I bring into my business at this point says maybe 5 to 10% maybe say they would love to go to their warm market. About 90% of them say, I have no warm market. I have no idea how to talk to anybody, and I don't have a warm market. Well, I've been in your shoes, okay, and we're going to talk about that. This is false, just so you know, it's totally false, and I'm sure you've heard that from many other leaders. Totally false, because I even went to my warm market first before doing this type of strategy. So I did the little warm market I did have. I went to them. Now, did they sign up right away? No, but at least I went to them. Because remember, you cannot expect your team to do something that you're not willing to do. And so eventually I did get a couple of them on board, but this is why, because I really honestly was so young and didn't have a lot of people I knew that would respect me at first, I had to turn to this to make a business work. So that's why I really stress that that's a huge thing. If you feel like you don't have a warm market, don't worry, there's hope for you, and you can build a business, because if I can, and I truly believe this, I know you hear this a lot with people, if I can build something, anybody can. I started my primary company about 3.5 years ago, and as you know, built a 10,000 per month income using this strategy. And now I'm full-time networker and internet marketer, and I absolutely love it. I love it. It's so much fun, and I get to play on Facebook and make money. What's better than that, right? So very cool. I also want to show you guys some trips that we've been on, just to show you what's possible through this amazing industry of network marketing. Because had you asked me 3.5 years ago if we would be doing all these cool things, and most of them were absolutely free because we won them through our company, I would have said, you're crazy. So this first picture is us and the Falcones and the Warries on a private island in Longboat Key, which is about 2 hours north of us. So we got to have an awesome birthday party for Eric's birthday there. That was a lot of fun. Just get to hang out with some really cool people and mastermind with some awesome people. Here's us in Jamaica. This was a free cruise we won, and we climbed Dunn's River Falls. I don't know, you know what? You should raise your hand if you've ever been to Dunn's River Falls. It is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. It was so much fun, just an absolute blast. So that's us climbing. This is us at the Grand Canyon. Beautiful sight, obviously. Something we had never seen before. This was at an event that we won. Here is another cruise we won, or I'm sorry, this wasn't a cruise. This was a trip, a free trip through our company to Cancun. And so this is us and the team. Obviously, we're a little clouded from our drinks. We're having a lot of fun. There's Ray and I in the pool. I'm on his shoulders. I don't know if you can see him right there. And it was just a blast. And it's so much fun when you can have a great time with your team also. That's the best. Not just when you make the trips, but when your entire team makes the trips. It just makes it worthwhile. So there's us having a great time in Cancun. And since we've been involved with this wonderful industry, it allowed me to have the wedding of my dreams and marry the man of my dreams. So there's Ray and I on our wedding day. I just think those ice sculptures they did for us were so amazing. And I truly, truly feel like I had the wedding of my dreams. So thank you, network marketing, for that. Here's us on our honeymoon. It's kind of a blurry picture. Unfortunately, we didn't have a great camera for this trip we took, which is silly, but this is us in Fiji, and they actually we were able to go to Fiji for our honeymoon for 10 days. Amazing. We were at Tony Robbins Resort in Namale. Beautiful resort. I highly recommend going. And they brought us breakfast by this waterfall. So this picture doesn't do it justice. It's really tall, it's big, and you get to eat breakfast right there. This is us in Hawaii at another waterfall. We were there for another trip that we won. Very cool. And this is one of my favorite pictures. This is us and the team on an island off of Haiti, actually, which I would never guess Haiti is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It's just gorgeous. So this is us in Haiti. This is another cruise we won. So much fun. We've won so many trips with some of our closest friends in the world in this picture. Just love the team. Love, love, love the team. And this is us finally at the Grand Del Mar, which is a hotel in San Diego. It is I believe it's the only 15 diamond hotel in the entire country, which means 5 diamond hotel, 5 diamond spa, and 5 diamond restaurant. So that was the best service and the most unbelievable experience ever. And you wouldn't think, well, San Diego is beautiful, but I wouldn't expect that to be there. It was awesome. Highly recommend going. But just some really cool places and things we've been able to do since being involved in this amazing industry. And I'm going to teach you guys exactly how I did it. Exactly, and I mean exactly. So if you feel like, you know what, maybe this works, but I can't do it, or blah, blah, blah. No, it does. It does work. You just have to be patient, give it time, and be a master of your craft. Because I think what happens when we learn a strategy is it starts to work for us, and then we kind of get a little bored because of our subconscious, or something happens with us and we think, oh, well, you know what, it can't work that well. I'm going to try this over here. That probably works better. But if you just stick with something and become a master of your craft, keyword master, that's where the big money comes in. So let's get going. Again, told you I have a lot to cover. I'm going to do a review. of how I find the perfect prospect to work with, how to start a conversation with a guaranteed higher response rate, how to build rapport with these prospects, and how to approach people with your business, and how to get them to approach you, which is very important, and this includes the updates, how to get them on the phone, very important, and closing tactics. Now, what else you will learn? The new updates Facebook has set in place, and how to still build a following and a big team. So that's a big one. How to get people to friend request you, and how to get fans organically to your fan page. Google Plus and how these strategies apply. I told you guys I talk about that because I'm beginning to absolutely love Google Plus. I think it's so cool. Now let's talk about the perfect prospect. This is, when you're looking for your perfect prospect on Facebook, this is absolutely the most important step. The most important step. So make sure that you pay attention to this, because this by far will make your life 10 times easier. You want to look in groups or on fan pages to find the absolute perfect prospect for you. When you find a group or fan page that matches in your industry, so I'm going to give you some examples. Look at the status updates on that fan page or in that group and see what people are saying. And when you find somebody that really resonates with you, that you feel like would be good to work with, you actually reach out to that person. And you want to pick people on these status updates. So the people that are interacting with these status updates on a great fan page or group that you like, you want to pick people that have these following characteristics, right? They want to be positive. You want them to sound smart. Does that sound obvious? Well, in the real world, it is a little obvious, but on Facebook, you'll find that people, it's like they lose all intelligence when they get on Facebook. It's like, you know, people who they are on Facebook is most likely who they are in the real world. And so they get on Facebook and they think, you know what, I'm going to prospect people and I don't care what they sound like, who they are. I just want a warm body in my business, right? Well, imagine what working with that person is going to be like in the real world when you bring them into your realm of possibility, into your realm of your home business. That's going to be tough. So you want to make sure you pick people with these characteristics, non-argumentative and active, you know, people that are actually on Facebook doing things, because that means that they're more likely to respond to you, right? Non-argumentative, you want to pick people that do not argue with the status updates on that fan page or group. Why do you want to pick people that don't argue? Because again, just remember this as a golden rule. The way people act on Facebook is usually, not always, because I do know some people in person that are completely different on Facebook, but usually the way they act on Facebook or on social media is the way they are in the real world. So if somebody is constantly arguing with a status update you see on this group or fan page that you've selected, you do not want to converse with them. You don't want them in your business because all they're going to do is argue, right? And when I say active, I mean somebody that's actively involved in social media, because number one, they're hip, they're with it, and number two, they're more likely to respond to you, okay? So let me give you some examples too. Then when you find this person, you want to send them a personal message and friend request or subscribe to their feed. Now, I know a lot of you see this and you think to yourself, well, what about all the new Facebook status updates and all the new Facebook rules and regulations they have put into place? I'm going to cover that. But listen, all of these fundamentals still apply. So when I talk about these fundamentals, when it comes to sending a message and working with somebody one-on-one, you want to pay attention. I'm going to cover some old things and some new things, but I am going to cover how you can get around these new updates. So stay tuned. I'm going to cover that later on. So let's talk about the perfect prospect and how to find these different fan pages and everything. So you want to go to your profile on Facebook, okay? And you want to go to this top search bar, aka the one with the big red arrows that I have pointing to in this picture, okay? You want to go to this top search bar and you want to search for fan pages or groups that you feel like the people you want to work with would be a part of. Okay, so I love, and most of you know this at this point, I love Robert Kiyosaki. I still love him. I still think it's a great group to be a part of and fan page to go after. Robert Kiyosaki is amazing. Look for those groups, okay? And look for status updates on those groups. So when you type in Robert Kiyosaki, for example, well, I'm going to give you some other examples as well, but when you type in Robert Kiyosaki, these groups and pages are going to come up. Pick one that has a lot of members in it, obviously. See right here, you can see this has 7,825 members, 8,773. So you want to pick one with a lot of members on it. Click on that, like it, or become a member of the group. So if it's a fan page, you'll have to like it. If it's a group, you'll have to become a member. And look for the status updates, as I mentioned. For example, here is a great example I love. So this was a status update. When I clicked on Robert Kiyosaki's page, this was a status update that said, in life and in business, there are many types of people you have to work with. Approach them from their needs, not your own. Now, why did I pick the status update? Because this shows all of these comments. Look how many shares, how many likes, how many comments he has already. So I'm going to look at these comments, right? And all of these comments in regards to this status update, why did I pick this? Because this status update shows what type of person they are to work with. It's talking about how you work in your business. It's talking about coming from a place of giving and not approach them from their needs, not your own. So I want to see what kinds of people these are, right? And so this lady, approach people by showing care about them. They will admire you, and this way you have positioned yourself as a leader for those people. You will be the go-to person. This is basically exactly my philosophy, right? I approach people, and we'll talk about this, I approach people as a leader, as someone of value, as somebody that can help them, and that's how I bring them into my business from this messaging strategy. So when you find these people, your whole entire job at this point, so I've picked out this woman because I love what she said in regards to this status update. Your job at this point is to connect with her in any way that you can and really build a relationship and a connection. So let me stop you here. When I tell people this, people are so hung up on the messaging side of it, on the send a personal message to this person, and that's the only way to connect, okay? And I'm going to tell you, yes, you do want to eventually get them to messaging status, and I'm going to share with you how you can do that even with all the Facebook rules and regulations. But that is not the only way to connect with someone on social media, and we'll talk about that, okay? So just remember that. So your goal, when you see someone that you feel is really, you want to work with this person, your goal is to connect with them and build that relationship. Here's another example, Randy Gage. I love his stuff and his fans. So the Randy Gage fan club page is a great one to look for status updates. Talking about his book, which is awesome. Risky is the New Safe, great book, highly recommend it. He had a great quote here. So she seems really positive, really upbeat. So I chose her to reach out to. Now, I love this next example because I think it's so awesome. Just to show that you got to think outside the box when you're picking people to work with, okay? So this is the status update he posted. Today's mantra, be amazing, right? And oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys this. So I just got a text from my great friend, I just got a text from my great friend Michelle, okay, and I'm showing these examples, and I didn't hide the names because I really didn't think it would be that big of a deal. She said that this lady is actually on her team, which shows how amazing this strategy actually works, because I'm picking people that I feel are great to work with, that would work well for our team, and they actually happen to be on it. So thanks for that, Michelle. That's pretty cool. So that just shows the power of picking the perfect person to work with. So anyways, let's keep going. So this lady said, give me a challenge, Randy. So this clearly shows, I feel like I have a kind of spunky personality sometimes. And this clearly shows that she is spunky. She has some sarcasm. He said, today's mantra, be amazing. She's like, come on, buddy, give me a challenge. I already am amazing. So I definitely would reach out to her. Okay, so again, just somebody that matches your personality that you really want to reach out to. Obviously, these are great examples because this one is already a part of the team. Okay, very cool. Now look for certain groups that match your primary company similarities. Okay, so these are just some examples of some groups that you can work with and look for great people to work with in your business. Robert Kiyosaki, again, I still feel is by far one of the best. I've gotten the most reps from there. Randy Gage, health and beauty pages if you're in health and wellness, personal trainers if you're in some kind of weightlifting, MLM or something like that. Ron Paul, Peter Schiff, great because a lot of those people they have the right mindset. They have the right mindset of people to work with. Network Marketing Pro, love Eric Worre's stuff. Just prepare to get pitched, and I'm going to teach you guys how to handle that. But he's got some just really great people that are a part of his community. So I always talk about Eric. He's awesome. Think of the people, places, and things that have to do with your niche, okay? And just dig yourself deep into those communities. Remember, it's not always about just the message. Don't get hung up on the step-by-step approach. Get hung up on the overall fundamentals, okay? Get hung up on the overall marketing strategy, not the step-by-steps. Because if you go by step-by-steps, you'll just get confused. So make sure that you know that this is your sole goal. Remember, with the perfect prospect is to simply connect with them in any way you can and build that relationship, okay? And we're going to talk about that. So the initial message, when you get to that stage of sending someone a personal message, so you found the perfect prospect, now you need to connect with them to figure out if they're a right fit for your business. You always want to put their name in the subject line, okay? Because that way they know it's a personal message. Look at their profile and find common ground with them. This is the second most important step. So the first most important step is connecting with the right person. The second most is the initial message because they're going to determine right away whether they want to respond to you and have a future relationship with you or not. So look at their profile. Find something you have in common with them and make the initial message just a hello. Do not, under any circumstances, give links, no matter what they are, because if somebody sees a link in the first message you send, automatically, with no hesitation whatsoever, automatically they say to themselves, up, pitch, and they totally write you off, right? So you want to make sure that the initial contact is just a hello and some form of common ground with them so that they know this is a very, very personal message. Tell them why you're messaging them. Hey, I'm going to give some examples, but hey, I see that you are a fan of health and wellness. I am too. I see you take really good care of yourself. I was looking at some of your pictures, and that's exactly the industry I'm in. Just out of curiosity, what do you do? I mean, you look beautiful. How do you stay in such great shape, right? So no pitch whatsoever, and you get them to respond to you. So end the first message with, like I just said, just curious, but what do you do? That is a great one-liner, and they will automatically respond with what they do and then most likely ask you what you do, which is where you have a little opening to give them just a little tag, just a little pull into what you do. And we'll talk about that, okay? Here's an example. Hey, saw your profile picture while waiting for a friend. Like connecting with other professionals. I see you're from Ireland. That's awesome. What exactly do you do? Okay, and I'm going to talk about this guy later because what's funny about him is we've created a really long-lasting relationship. And the cool thing about this approach is that, and I know you guys have heard me say this before, is that when you do this the right way, you will build, because everybody's on Facebook, right? Everybody's on Facebook, and not only are they on Facebook, they're on Facebook for years and years and years. And they're on Facebook for hours and hours of every day. So with this approach, I have built such great relationships with people that we stay connected because we are so connected on social media. We know what each other is up to. We see each other's status updates. We're in the same groups. Okay, so it's a really great strategy to not only bring people into your business, but have them stay in your business. So this guy, I'm going to mention him later on the webinar because he's done some really cool things. And I'm going to share that with you. But I just asked him what he does, and I see you're from Ireland. That's so cool. And then he responded. Okay, so that's an example of a good first message. Again, another one. Saw you were a Robert Kiyosaki fan. Also, I loved your comments about giving your teacher a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad. What do you do? So I am saying why I'm messaging them, right? I'm messaging you because I love your comments. Feel like we could connect. And so he responds, and we'll talk about him later too as well. Now, the third step, building rapport. This is where people struggle the absolute most, I feel, because they don't know how to handle other human beings on social media, frankly. And again, sometimes when people take themselves from the real world and put themselves online, they become something of a robotic sense. They become robotic, like, okay, must say this next, then ask this question, right? So they start just going crazy almost with this messaging process or this connecting process. Remember, you're just trying to make a friend. It's not a big deal. And you are trying to, what's your number one goal? Your number one goal is to build a relationship and connect with that person in any way that you can, okay? Your number two goal is to build rapport and find out if there are any holes in what they're already doing that you can fix with your business or your services. So you are a problem solver, not a salesperson. You need to understand that. Basic no-nos, no sending links, as I said, until asked or given the go-ahead. And we'll talk about that. Your conversation should not be short messages, okay? You want to engage people. You want to get detailed with the person. A good rule of thumb, don't pitch your business before the first 3 messages back and forth unless you're asked or unless you feel like, oh my God, this is the perfect opportunity. I'd be crazy not to say something about my business. Okay, so that's a good rule. 3 messages should be good to go. And never get defensive. Doing this, you are going to meet a ton of crazy people on social media. It's just a fact. You'll meet 90% great, fantastic, amazing people and 10% really strange, okay, just to be honest. So if someone is negative or crazy or just bashing what you're doing or whatever, and you will get that, just don't get defensive. Just say, you know what, there's plenty more people. There's over 1 billion people on this thing. I'm going to move on, okay? So basic rules, do make yourself out to be somewhat of an expert. So do I mean that you should lie about who you are and what you do and what you've done? Absolutely not. But do I mean that if somebody is talking to you about what they do, you can offer advice based on things that you've heard, things that you've studied, or content that you've created? And that's why MLSP is so amazing for this and so amazing for this strategy, because you can become the expert through My Lead System Pro without even having your own stuff yet. And this strategy works so well to promote My Lead System Pro, not just your primary opportunity, okay? And I'm going to talk about that a little later, but do make yourself out to be somewhat of an expert, and you can do that through MLSP. Do ask a lot of questions to get the conversation going. So make sure that you are engaging them in questions, that you never leave it just as a, okay, that's great, goodbye. Do bring up your business casually in conversation. Your job is just to whet their appetite until they give you an opening. Do have content created to make yourself look credible. Now, what do I mean? And this is where MLSP comes in. Videos, blogs, articles, something that you have created or someone else that you can use as a third party has created. So I have an example on here, and I'm just going to skip to that example, even though it'll come up later in the slides, because I think this is a really good spot for it. I had a guy, actually, let me see what's next here. Let's skip to this one, okay? I had a guy that to this day I still work with, okay? He asked me, this is just such a great example, I always use it. He asked me about how should I, because I position myself as an expert, or as somebody that could help him. Not necessarily a guru, but just as somebody that could help him, that knew about our industry and knew enough to say, hey, you know what, if you ever need advice, I'm here. So he asked me, do you think when I join a company, should I join multiple or should I just join one? And what I did, do I have it on here? No. What I did is I actually sent him to a blog post I had done to help him with that question. Now, what did that do? It positioned me as the expert because I am sending him to content that I've created to answer his question. Pretty cool, huh? So MLSP can help you with that. It can help you discover, okay, what do I want to send people to when they have questions or they're in the business of, wanting to know how to bring their business online or whatever. Do I want to do videos? Do I want to do blogs? Do I want to do articles? Whatever. Do I want to send them to somebody else's videos and say, hey, look, I work with this person or I follow this person and, I've been working with them really closely the past few months and I think that this video will help you. See, it's about providing value to that person and then asking them later if they're open to another form of income or another way that they can actually bring their business to the next level through My Lead System Pro. And we'll get into the close in a little bit, but just understand that that is very key. When you build rapport, it's not just about, asking how the weather is. It's about positioning yourself as somebody that can help, and that is so key. Another example, when this person that I'm going to talk about later, and some of you probably know who he is, when he responded after I asked him what's he do, I saw he was from Ireland, I just casually mentioned my business. He said, so what do you do? And I said, oh, I'm in a home-based blah, blah, blah business. Been pretty awesome with the way the market's going right now. We actually just won a BMW. So little teaser, right? If you didn't win a BMW, you can say, oh, we actually just won a trip, or oh, we actually just learned how to get 10 leads a day, or oh, this is my business and we actually just, corporately launched our first big marketing campaign. Whatever, it doesn't matter, but just little teasers. And then I end with a question. So he says, nice, blah, blah, blah. He talks about himself a little bit, and then he asks, so how did you get into that business? Right? Just little teasers. And I went over that example. Now, here's something that I find a lot of people struggle with, and you guys know that I've mastered this, at least I feel I have, being pitched and turning it into having rapport. Because you will get pitched constantly on Facebook, on any social media platform. It's just normal. So this guy pitched me right away. And my classic response to somebody pitching me. Now remember, as I always say, and I'm going to remind you guys again, when I pitch someone, when somebody pitches me, I feel when they pitch me in the first message and they're just terrible at it and they write this long drawn out pitch about how their company is ground floor and it's an amazing opportunity and if I don't get in, I'm going to die. Okay, when somebody says that, I know that that's a good prospect. And people are like, what? What are you talking about, Jess? That's crazy because they're just not doing anything right. You know how I know? Because they're not doing anything right. And because they're not doing it right and they haven't been taught properly, I know, not all the time, but most of the time I know that they don't have a mentor telling them what to do. They don't have a mentor saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. This is what you should be doing. If they're that bad at building relationships with people first, I know that they don't have a proper mentor and that they don't have a leader that's grooming them for success. Okay, so that is why they are great prospects. You just have to learn how to turn it around. So if somebody pitches me, I always say, hey, it's great to connect with you. Start with something positive. Question for you, how is this tactic on Facebook working for you? Just curious, have an awesome Monday. A lot of times I'll say, well, you know what? It's not working at all. Okay. And this guy in particular said, it's funny. He basically says in this, I won't read the whole thing to you, but he basically says, funny, it's not working at all. And I actually watch your video and I see that you have some online marketing tactics, or I see that you're, into that world, and I see that you're someone that can help me. That's why creating value on your profile, on your fan page, through messaging is so important. Because if you don't know who's watching you, and I know Michelle Pesco talks about this a lot. She talks about creating value on your fan page, and she's a master at that. If you go look at her fan page, I mean, you will see tons of value. And I sometimes go on there. She probably doesn't know this. I sometimes go on there. I look at what she's posting, and I'll be like, okay, I can model that. I can do something like that, right? Because what should you be doing? You should be modeling people that are successful. So I'll go on there. I'll see kind of what she's doing sometimes. And if she gets a good response from something, then I'll go on there and post something, similar, maybe not the exact same thing, of course, but something similar, a similar experience that happened to me, and see what kind of response I get. So you always want to model successful people. And so when it comes to this, providing value positions you as the expert automatically. And it's so easy to do, just put some great quotes on Facebook, or put, a positive quote of the day. Or, if you see a video that you like, even if it's not yours, share it. I do that all the time. Share it. Or if you see a blog post you like, share it. You have to have an abundance mentality. By you sharing more, automatically other people will share your stuff more. So that's a big deal, okay? So he says, I watch your video, you seem cool, and guess what? It's not working for me, okay? And then he pitched me again, and I said, well, I'd be happy to hear more about your business, but I was honestly just curious about your approach because I've done a lot of internet marketing, and I think I can help you with a few tweaks. Remember, I can help you. I can help you. Let me help you. Your tactic, in essence, I'm saying is terrible in a nice way, but I can help you. Have you done any internet marketing? I specialize in network marketing. If that's what you're referring to, I'd be happy to give you some tips. Have an awesome weekend. Okay, see how I did that? So I'm not getting offended by someone pitching me. Stop getting offended. It's just because they haven't been taught properly. Listen, everybody online is just trying to do everything. Everybody on social media and network marketing, if they're pitching you, they're just trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. They just don't know how to do it in the right way. And so you can help them. You absolutely can. By watching this webinar, you are now an expert. You can now help everybody that has been pitching you from Kingdom Come, because you can tell them, hey, I attended this webinar. I've been studying this stuff for a little while, and I think I can help you. Right? Why not say that to somebody? So let me just, because I am doing a review of this, and I don't have all the examples because I have so much to cover, I want to tell you guys what happened after I talked about this. By the way, if you guys have questions, you can go to the MLSP fan page. I don't know if Ray has that posted out there. And you can post them on there. And I am going to open the chat up at the end of this for a few questions as well. So, just go to their fan page, just My Lead System Pro, put it in your search box, and you can post your questions on there. I'll take a look at that, and also I'll open the chat box. But with this guy who was pitching me, because he was pitching me so hard, I didn't want to open up with my network marketing company right away. So I started with My Lead System Pro. And what does My Lead System Pro do in this type of realm? It actually opens them to be a follower of you. It makes you seem like someone that can help them because you've now helped them get online leads. And so eventually they do look at your primary business, and now you're building an even bigger relationship with them because you're now working together through MLSP. So he pitched me really hardcore. I told him why I didn't like his business model in a nice way. I said, listen, it's just not for me because. That's a great line. Write that down. It's not for me because. If they're pitching you, say, listen, it's not for me because, but I wish you all the success with it. Great line. Because now you've put a little doubt in their mind about what they're doing. And you've now positioned yourself as the expert saying, but I can help you with your online marketing for that business if you'd like. Here's my Lead System Pro, right? And I'll get into how to close for that. So he got into MLSP, then got into my business, built a great team, great friends still. So I just wanted to share that success story because I just love these. Now going from online to offline, because the goal here is to get them from Facebook to on the phone so you can close them into your business. Now, have I closed everyone into my business from phone or from message? Mostly it's been from the phone after going through this process. But I have closed a few from just strictly online. That rarely happens. I rarely see that happen. And if you don't get them on the phone, they're not going to stick around. Okay? So here's how you get them from Facebook to the phone. If you've built enough rapport, it's easy. Once you talk about your business, once you say something like, you find that opening, you say something like, you know, hey, here's what I do. If you want to check it out, great. If not, no big deal. And you wait for a response. You don't send a link unless asked. Hey, here's what I do. If you want to check it out, great. If not, no big deal. I think it will really help you based on our conversations. I'll say that one more time. Hey, here's what I do. If you want to check it out, great. If not, no big deal. But I think it will really help you based on our conversations. So if you've built enough rapport from that point, you can just stop, see what they say, then send a link if they tell you it's okay. Do not send a link if they do not tell you it's okay. Because remember, once they see a link, boom, they're out of there. Unless it's at the right time. So if you've built enough rapport, getting them on the phone is so easy. It's unbelievable. Here's a great line. After you've sent them some info on your business, say something like, here's my phone number. If you have questions, blah, blah, blah. Send me yours if you would, so I know who's calling me. So I give them my phone number so there's less resistance. They know I'm a real person, right, at this point. Hey, send me yours if you would so I know who's calling me when you do call me with questions. Now, most likely, they're not going to call you. But you see why this is so powerful? Because you're giving them a reason why you need the phone number. Hey, I need your number because when you do call me for questions, even though they most likely won't, after they see the link, I'm gonna need to know who's calling so that I answer it. Right? Very powerful. Again, if they're serious, they will give you a number. Now let's go into how to handle that once you get them on the phone. This is huge because if you're getting the leads, you're building the rapport, you're building the relationships, now what? Right? Now, how are you going to get them closed? If you don't know how to close, then what's the point of even getting the leads? Right? What's the point? So it begins online with the pitch or approach through messaging. You know, from the very beginning, you're closing them because you are the only one building a relationship with them out of millions upon billions of people. When you bring the conversation onto the phone, don't expect to be a master closer at first, okay? This is not a big deal. I want you to think about using your upline for three-way calls. So if you don't have an upline for three-way calls, you need to establish that. That is huge. So if you are bringing somebody onto the phone and you are inexperienced, really, or you don't have a lot of rapport, I guess a lot of posture on the phone yet, or you're not really sure what to do, no big deal. Just always send people to a tool. So when you ask them, hey, I saw that you checked out the link. This is your friend from Facebook. Just wanted to see what you liked about it. And see if they have questions. If they do, get them on the phone with an upline to answer them. You do not have to answer those questions right away. Tools do all the work for you. As soon as you open your mouth to answer a question, it should be to send them to a tool when you're new, right? And that will create massive duplication because that person's thinking to themselves, well, hey, if she's just getting me on the phone, all she did was send me to a link that explained the business, got me on the phone, got her upline on the phone for questions, and that was it. She didn't say a word. I can do that, right? Get a course on phone skills and recruiting and put it into action. I fully believe that that is money right there. Phone skills on recruiting, courses on phone skills, recruiting is huge, because if you are getting leads and you don't know what to do with them, there's no point in it. Do you understand that? Do you get that? So, and then put it into action. The only way to get better is to get some guidelines, right? And that's what the courses are for. And then put it into action. Do it over and over and over again. That's the only way to get better. You're never going to get better at phone until you start doing it. Just know you're going to screw up a few times, and that's fine. So, geez, I'm going long here. We have to get going because I have a lot to cover. So here's a guy I closed from MLSP. Basically, it's the same stuff I was talking about, that he said, I like what you do, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me with some online stuff? And I said, hey, by the way, I've been in internet marketing for a few years now, and I've learned a lot about network marketing online. Let me know if you'd like any pointers or tools that I use. The conference call is posted on my status. Have a great night. And that was the conference call for MLSP. So this person asked me for the tools, and I closed them on MLSP. Do you guys realize how easy it is to close MLSP with this strategy? It's so simple, especially with a $2 trial, for God's sake. And then they see how awesome the system is, and they keep using it. So you can actually close people through MLSP, and then eventually get them into your network marketing company. And all you have to do is say, hey, if you're struggling, I actually have a way that might help you. I've been in internet marketing and can share some tools with you, use if I'd like, or if you'd like. If not, no big deal, right? And then you send a link if they allow you to. Remember, that's very, very key. Again, always ask to send links. Build you as the leader and faith in your company versus theirs or what they're currently doing. Closing begins from the minute you start building rapport with them. Have the attitude, hey, I'm here to make a friend, but if you want to learn more about what I do, I'm happy to share. Here are some just additional phone tactics, because I think this is really important. I think, phone is so important. There is not one huge network marketer out there that didn't learn how to get good at the phone. I'm sorry, there's not. So these I thought were some good tactics that might help you. Smile. Seriously, this helps. Danny Johnson talks about this all the time. Seriously, it helps, because it helps people see what kind of attitude you have over the phone. Don't be addicted to the outcome. As my husband always says, you can't be attached to what happens. You just have to go through the numbers. Remember, you've already built good rapport with this person, so treat them as a friend. This is not an uncomfortable, stiff, stuffy situation. This is treating them as a friend. And don't talk yourself out of a sale. When they're ready, grab their info and put them manually into your downline or My Lead System Pro team. So if they say, yeah, I think I'm ready to join, you say, okay, cool, well, what's your billing address? Okay, you grab their information. You do not send them to a website. You do not put your upline on the phone. You do nothing to interrupt that process. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make. So if you guys are falling asleep, pay attention to that because that'll help you infinitely with your recruiting. And don't be afraid to do it. Remember, if they have more questions, always send them to a tool. Think posture, confidence, and sincerity when you get on the phone. Think those three things before you get on the phone and say to yourself, I can do this. I can do this. I'm good at this. I'm going to be great at it. I can do this. No big deal. And make that call. Just keep making that call. Make the next call. Okay? So I hope that helped with that. And ask good questions. That's always key. And we went over some of those good questions. Quick recap on this section. Initial message is extremely important. Make it personal. Build rapport for at least 3 messages back and forth before approaching them with your business. You're building yourself as the authority figure. Okay, that's where MLSP comes into place and really helps with that. And then find an opening and talk about your primary biz or MLSP. Remember to find an opening. Very, very important. Never send a link unless they allow you to. So unless they say, yeah, go ahead, send a link. And get them on the phone and use the tools from there. Those are the steps. Very simple. You will get better and better at this as you do it more and more. You'll learn how people think. The key is learning how people think and where to take it from there. You want to ask a lot of good questions. You want to dig deep, find out what their pain is, and then provide the solution. And that is very easy step. So some of you have seen something similar to that before. Some of you haven't. But a lot of you are thinking to yourselves right now, Jess, hello, what about the updates? We've done this and we keep getting banned, or we keep getting, these messages popping up. Let me cover those, because you guys don't even realize that you can totally go around those, and it's really exciting. A few key things to remember before I go into that. Your profile is just as important as your conversations. So you want to make sure that on your profile you're providing value. I talked about that. You never know who's watching. So when people are watching you, they will message you, they will reach out to you. When you are doing these connections, they will reach out to you when you are providing value, and you will have so many friend requests you won't know what to do with it. And when somebody friend requests you, guess what? You can send them a message back. Ask a lot of questions, but not in an awkward way, of course. A good rule of thumb is 2 questions per message. Make sure you have an opening to pitch your business or MLSP, as I said before. Make sure you find a good person to talk to. Spend some time on this step, very important. Now, let's go into the updates, and I think I'm going to take you into my personal Facebook for this too. But let me just cover them on here too. So updates, how they apply. You can no longer send a bunch of messages without paying a $1 fee. Has everybody seen this? I think, you know what? I think I'm going to turn the chat on. I want to make sure that people can see this. Has everybody experienced, okay, there we go. Has everybody experienced this $1 message thing? Can you just tell me that? Oh my God, somebody said they've also been notified to pay 50 bucks. Holy cow. Yes, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, yes, I've gotten the $1. Sometimes $5 even. Yep. No idea. Okay. So I'm gonna share with you guys, yes, sometimes as much as 5. I know, it's crazy. So let me tell you guys how to get around this, okay? Because this can be a good thing. It can also be a bad thing, because you don't want to spend, if you're sending, 10 messages a day or whatever, that's 10 bucks a day, right? So we're going to talk about that. If you guys don't know what this is, because some of you said you've never experienced that, when you start sending a bunch of messages, Facebook now says, hey, if you want to send a message to this person, you're going to have to pay $1, sometimes 5, sometimes more. I saw $50 on there at one time. If you want to send this person a message, you have to pay $1. Otherwise, it goes into their other folder. Now on Facebook, there is now an other folder next to your inbox. And you guys should all be checking this, because you probably have messages in there that you didn't even know were there from people trying to contact you. So next to, when you go to your inbox or your messages on Facebook, next to that you'll see this gray other folder. If you click on that, there should be messages in there, okay? So most people don't even know this exists. So when they say you pay that $1 fee or it goes into their other folder, well, guess what? They're probably never going to see it unless you pay that $1 fee. Now, how do you get around that with the strategy I just taught you? Well, let me share that. You can actually send messages to fan pages instead of personal pages. Did you know that? You can actually send messages to fan pages instead of personal pages. And let's look at that for a second. So I'm gonna go into Facebook here for a second. I wonder if you guys, can you guys see this okay? Uh-oh, did I lose everyone? Oh no, I lost my webinars on air thing. Ah. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, we can see it. Yay, I found you guys. Okay, cool. So you can actually, let me show you on Facebook here. When I go to Facebook, and I'm going to go to a fan page here. God, Ray's computer is slow. I should have used mine. You know, he begged me to use his because he said, oh, it's so fast. And we've had so many problems with his. Next time, I promise you guys I'm going to use mine. Okay. So, and obviously it's on his Facebook, but that's okay. Let's go to Robert Kiyosaki. So this is exactly what I would do as if I was searching for somebody you know, that I want to work with, and I'm going to do public figure. 782,000 people are on this page, so that's a good number. There's going to be a lot of comments, a lot of likes, shares. That'll be some good people to work with. Okay, so let me look on here. I was on here earlier looking for people, and you can almost always find fan pages that you can connect with. Let's see here. And all you have to do is scroll over the name. So if you guys can see this, it's loading because it's being slow. I don't think that's a fan page though. But it'll show you whether it's a fan page or not so you don't waste your time. So if I go up here, let's find one with a lot of comments. So this has 17 comments, which isn't a whole lot, but let me see here if I can find a fan page. I was on here earlier and there were just a ton. So if you scroll over it, you can see if it's a fan page or not. Okay, so here, not a fan page. Let's look. Of course, when I show you on the webinar, there aren't any, and when I was on here earlier, there were a million. But anyway, so you would scroll over those names and just find somebody you think is cool, find a fan page. If they have a fan page, most likely there's somebody that is pretty good to connect with. And so there were just a ton on here, and I'm sure if I looked further and we had more time, I could find them. But there were so many that you can connect with them on there, and that's just one way to go about it. So you can actually send messages to fan pages. That's okay. When you scroll over their name, you'll see that it's a fan page. So I don't know where I was looking before, but there are a lot on there. And so when you click a fan page, you just click send them a message, right? And that'll go into their fan page inbox. Now, when you look at the Facebook rules and regulations, there's nothing banning you from sending a message to a fan page, okay, which is pretty cool. And just like a regular profile page, people can see your, I think this might be a fan page. No, okay, this guy's a fan page down here, Michael Weir. If you look at his, see how it says 130 people like this? I don't know if you guys can see that, but right there it says 130 people like this. That means it's a fan page. You can send him a message. You can send unlimited fan pages. But I'll get into what you want to do with that because you don't want to send, 50 a day. It goes right into their inbox just like a regular profile would. And they see it just like a regular message. Now they have to have their private messaging turned on. They have to have their private messaging turned on, but most of them do because I think that's the default option. So if it's not, it's because they manually went in there and turned it off, which isn't very smart for a fan page, and you probably don't want to work with them anyway. Oh, okay. Everybody's saying my page is black. Okay, you guys can see me again. I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I just messaged a fan page, so I hope you did. Again, this is my first time on this webinar. Webinar's on air, so I'm not so familiar with it. Okay, people are giving me different responses, so I'm assuming it's okay. Let's keep going. So that's one solution, okay? Another one is you can send them a message to someone's other folder and then comment on their page that you sent them a message and it's probably in their other folder. Okay, so again, the goal is to connect with them. The goal is to connect and make sure that you are building that relationship, however you do that. Whether that's through the connection, we'll talk about the reply button. I know that Michelle talked about that cool new feature, so we'll go over those. So you can do that way. You can pay the $1 for a very high quality prospect. Okay, so very high quality, pay the $1, right? It'll make you stand out. Who cares? Now, my theory from a lot of articles I've read and doing some research is that Facebook is testing out this $1 or paid to message thing. They're testing it out to see how it works, who complains, who does it. And so that is your call. Okay, if they're a very high quality prospect, you can pay the $1. So if a lot of people are doing that, my guess is that Facebook is going to keep it. It's going to keep that pay to message option. So that's totally up to you, but my theory is that they're just testing this out, and I don't know if it'll go away or not, but they are testing it. So we'll see what happens. You can interact through commenting, replying, which I'll talk about, and sharing. So people will start to recognize you and wonder what you're up to. And I have a great, perfect example of this. So remember when I said from the very beginning that don't get hung up on just the messaging part of it, because I still do this all the time. It still works. I still connect with people. I still sign them up. Get hung up on the relationship part. Get hung up on all the theories I'm teaching you, not the step-by-step. The theory is build a relationship, okay? Do it in a strategic way. So you want to build a relationship in a strategic way, but that's by providing value and really making it known that, hey, I want to build a connection with you. And so comment on their stuff, reply to their status updates, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Share their stuff and share value on your own page that they interact with as well. And so when you do that, you'll actually be building a relationship with someone, even if it's not through direct messaging, and that'll help. Now I'm going to share with you also some stuff that you can use to make sure that you are still getting messages across, because the message portion is important. And as I said, you can send them to fan pages, but there are some other tactics you can use. And by the way, they'll start friending you. When you start providing value on your profile and your fan page, and you start replying, and you just start being everywhere, right? And not just everywhere with spammy stuff, everywhere with good content, good sharing, good just commenting on other people's stuff and liking it, whatever. People will start friending you. And guess what? When people friend you, now you can reach out to them in a personal message, and it doesn't matter how many you do, as long as you stay within these certain guidelines that I'm going to talk about. So you want to start getting people to friend you as well, fan your page, and so forth. Now here's my good friend. Remember I told you at the beginning I had that great example of the guy from Ireland? Well, this is him, Dave Prosser. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him. And I wanted to bring him out and bring up his fan page because he has 1,000 likes. Now I saw recently that he had 1,000 likes organically, and I'll explain what that means, because you're probably like, okay, 1,000 likes, no big deal. A lot of people have 1,000 likes. What's the big deal? The big deal is he did this all through, or mostly through, just being out there, commenting on people's stuff, getting them to like his stuff, sharing it here, sharing it there. And so I just thought that was so cool, just living example of what I teach and what he's learned. And I just think that he's awesome. You definitely want to like his fan page if you can. Just great example. So just remember, the theories apply no matter how you do it. Here's some more updates. You can get banned if you send too many messages in a day to people you're not already connected with. This is really scary. Okay? That's why I put that there. Hey, it's scary. So the problem with Facebook is that you don't own it. So they can do whatever the heck they want whenever they want, unfortunately. If you heard my dog bark, he's very mad about that. So um, what you want to do with this, I'm going to share that actually in a minute. So let's cover one more. You can get banned if you send too many friend requests in a day also, which is also very scary, right? These are the two that really scared me because I used to do this every single day. I would send out a lot. But how do you get past this? Well, if you look in the rules and regulations of Facebook, and that's where this is from, and I've tested this, the warning is because you're going too fast when sending messages. So if you're going too fast, you'll need to temporarily stop this activity to avoid hitting a message block on your account. Now with that, you want to make sure that you are spacing it out. If you do it like I teach and you take your time finding the person, you reply to a comment or you comment on their stuff and you take your time really making the message personal and you space it out, you should be fine. Okay, you should be absolutely fine. I've tested it and it's worked. But if you do get a warning, follow what they say because you don't want to get shut down. Just temporarily stop and just go back to it the next day. Now, I received a warning from adding friends. This is also what they say about adding friends. You can't go too fast when adding friends either. You'll temporarily need to stop sending friend requests, otherwise you could get blocked from that. So again, like I've always said, it's about going too fast. Now, what you can do instead of friending people is, there's now that feature on Facebook that allows you to follow them. So you can follow people and click the little, subscribe button, and now you are connected to their feed and everything, and you're more likely not to get blocked if you send them a message. So that's a cool new thing you can do as well. And it even says it right here. It says try following them instead of sending them a friend request. That's an easier tactic. So those are some ways you can get around that. Now here are some fun updates, I believe, that are pretty cool. There is now a reply button. I know Michelle covered this in her webinar last week, I believe, or the week before. There's now a reply button on fan pages. That is so cool. I think that's awesome. Use this to your advantage. Remember, what's the goal? To build a relationship with this person that you want to work with in any way possible. And this reply button is great. This is Laramie. Okay, she's on my fan page. She's just an amazing person. I love working with her. She's always making me laugh with her texts and stuff. Our relationship started through Facebook. That's where our relationship started. She found me on Facebook just with the value that I created. And, we built a relationship through messaging, got on the phone eventually with her and her husband. And now she's, a part of our business, working together. And, I reply to her status updates and so forth. But I thought she'd be a great example, not only for, the business relationship we've created, but because, I always reply to her and she gets a little notification that says, hey, Jess replied to your stuff. And, that's pretty cool, and vice versa. So that is a great, great thing that you can use to really get people engaged with you and know that you're thinking of them, you want to be a part of what they do. So that's a fun update. Another fun update, these are fun updates, not the dun dun dun, you'll get banned updates. You can now add emoticons to your status updates and make them more fun and interactive. So I think that's pretty cool. This is only on your personal page, not on your fan page, as of right now anyway. And here's what they do. I think I put, so you can put like having a fantastic Tuesday, and then it says, when you click on the emoticon, it says feeling happy, and it puts a little happy face. Or you can put, my favorite time of day, my first cup, drinking coffee, and it'll add that, and it'll put the little coffee symbol. So play around with that. It's on your personal page. When you post a status update, it's this little smiley face. So I just thought that was a fun update, pretty neat. And I'll be playing around with those as well, because as you know, I like to play, like to play with things. And I'm playing with this webinars on air. Sorry, it was kind of up and down there, but just learning, and that's okay, because you're learning with me, I guess. Here's another cool thing that I found today, which I was so excited. I was like, oh, I have to share this. I have to post this on my webinar. You can now, on your personal page, it used to only be on your fan page only if you had more than 400 likes that you could promote a status update. Now, on your personal page, you have an option. When you post a link, you have an option below that says promote. And what that promote does is it, for $7, you can get that status update at the top of the news feed for your friends for $7. I think that's pretty cool. Now, you don't want to do that for every status update, of course, but when you have something that's important, you can post that. You can just pay that $7 and it'll be at the top of your friends' news feeds. I just think that's so cool. So you can do that for your personal page now, and you don't have to have a fan page with over 400 likes. So that's something new that they just did, which I thought was neat. That's a great way to build relationships as well and get a lot of comments, posts, interaction, and get things to go viral too, which is exciting. Now, last but not least, let's talk about Google+. As kind of a side note, I just want to talk about this because I just think it's the way of the future. I really love it. If you don't have a Google+ account, you can go to this website and start one. I believe you have to have a Gmail account, so just set that up if you don't have that, and you can start a Google+ account that way. But it's just such a cool social media site. And I was going to go onto my Google+ from my computer, but it's just being so slow. Let me see what it does here. I was going to show you my profile, but let's see here. See if I can get on Ray's Google+ then, since I'm on his computer. Don't have to switch. But what I really love about Google+ is it's Google. So when you get people to share on Google+, guess who likes that? Google does. So, and it's connected to YouTube. There's so many cool things you can do with it. Let's get on Ray's Google+ and see what he's got going on. And they're starting to come out with communities on Google+. And so you can actually use these same tactics that you use for Facebook. You can apply these to Google+. You can apply them to LinkedIn too. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about LinkedIn, but Google+ is really cool. And look, there's Bill right away. Google+ is really cool because it's not as spammy. I find that LinkedIn's becoming really spammy, and I don't like that. So, but you know what? If you were consistent with it and you use these strategies to stick out, you'd still build a business. But I really like Google+ because it is Google. Google likes it, obviously. And I feel it's the way of the future. Everybody's getting on it. It's pretty cool. And so here's Ray's profile. I'm not going to log out and go into mine right now, but you can see kind of how it works. So it looks a little bit like Facebook, right? And if you scroll down, you can create an account pretty much just like Facebook with that website I showed you, and I'll go back to that slide in a second. But look, he's got 671 people in his circles. These are people that he's worked with, and then 6,400 people that have added Ray to their circles, which is pretty cool. And your circles is just like your friends, right? Your connections. So that's neat. And every post he does goes out to his circles. Now what they've added here is they do communities, and in these communities, if you go to the left and you click communities, it's just like connecting with a Facebook group, right? You can create your own group, aka community, or you can search for one. So if I search for network marketing, I'll find a bunch of network marketing communities that come up that I can go to and I can connect with. And guess what? This one has 230 members, 273 members. So I can connect with those people in those groups. Also on the side, if I enable the chat here, because I have it disabled, or he has it disabled, I believe, you'll have a bunch of people over here that are online, that are in your circles, that you can start to chat with. And you can use the same exact tactics I just taught you for the Google Plus chat. And with Google Plus, there's no limit to how many people you can add to your circles in a day. So I just think it's a great avenue to start kind of playing around with and getting into. And I wanted to share that with you guys as well. So let me get back here, get back to my PowerPoint. Okay, so I went over that. It's the Hangouts and chats are awesome. Obviously, we're on a Hangout through Webinars on Air. It's just awesome, and you can really create a great relationship with people, and you can start building a following on here and building a team, really. And again, Google loves when your stuff gets shared through Google Plus, because guess what? It's Google, so the search engine loves it, and that's a good thing. I did want to mention to you one last thing. We are having an amazing event in Orlando. I'm super excited about it. We've got some great speakers coming. Todd Falcone, Michelle and Bill Pescasolido, Vince Reed, who's built several multi-million-dollar businesses and network marketing businesses through he has some awesome ways to get leads that are just really cool. So quick mention, it's in Orlando, June 13th through 15th at the JW Marriott. It's Top Earner Academy Live. We are going to be showing you step by step exactly how to reach the top ranks in your company. And this is going to be a no fluff event. It's going to be almost like a boot camp of, hey, when you go in there, let's say you have no clue, and when you come out, you are a different person ready to take your business to the next level and have a six-figure blueprint in place, 6- and 7-figure blueprint in place to get to the top ranks. And there is a strategy there. It is strategery. So we're going to be sharing that at this event. I just wanted to tell you guys that quickly. And, you know, if you can make it, we'd love to see you there. Got some great speakers and some great secret speakers as well that I haven't revealed, that we haven't revealed, that are going to be coming out. So we're excited about that. Questions. I know I went long. I had a lot to cover, so I appreciate you guys hanging in with me. I have more training on my blog at workwithjess.com. You guys can go there and check it out. Also, I do a lot of stuff on my fan page. I love Facebook. You know, it's my thing. I just feel at home there. So go like my fan page. It's facebook.com/Jessica Higdon page. I'll take a few minutes for questions. I know I went long, guys, but hang in there with me, and I'd be happy to get some of these out. So I'm going to open up questions. So if you go, one cool thing about Webinars on Air is you can actually go to your little panel on the side, and you can click the question box and ask a question if you'd like. So I'm going to disable the chat, and I'm going to do the question box. I hope I did it right. So can you guys see that? Well, we've got a lot of raised hands here too. Oh, wait. There we go. There's Q&A. Did I do Q&A right? Oh, I don't know if I'm doing it right. Okay, there we go. Okay, it just took a minute to come up. So one of the questions is, when you promote to the top of your friends feed, how long does it stay there? You know, that's a good question. Again, I just found that today, so I think it stays up there for maybe a day or two. I think it stays up there, I'm guessing, for 24 hours, and then you just pay another $7. But you can get a lot accomplished in 24 hours. But again, I just found it today, so I'm still playing with it. I played with it with a few status updates and got more comments and likes than I normally would have. So I think it's a really cool feature. I just started yesterday and got my first lead. How do I approach this person? Wow, that's a good question. Well, I would just call, well, number one, it depends on where they're coming from, okay? So if they're coming from a funnel, you want to say, hey, you visited my website. If it's through My Lead System Pro, say, hey, I saw you visited my website. Just wanted to see exactly how I could help you. Most of my phone conversations start out that way. I want to see how I could help you. What can I do for you? And just listen. Don't have anything in mind beforehand. Just listen and see what you can do for them. Maybe it's your business. Maybe it's My Lead System Pro. Okay? But anything else. Let's see. How long on average do you spend on Facebook and Google Plus per day? Good question. I would say you want to spend no more than an hour per day with each. But honestly, just spread it throughout the day so that you don't get banned. So do a message and spread it throughout the day if you're doing it just the traditional way. Again, it's about speed. They hate speed and they hate copy paste, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. If you do it the exact way I teach, you should not get banned. But if you do get a message that says, hey, you're sending too many messages or something like that, just stop and revisit it the next day. Okay? So, but I would say about an hour each per day. But if you don't have that amount of time, just stay consistent with it. If you have a half hour, do a half hour, but be very consistent. Okay. Will this webinar be posted for replay on MLSP member site? Yes, it will be on the MLSP member site. I believe they are recording it. I don't know if it will be elsewhere, but if you are an MLSP member, it will be on there. So that should be good. How often should you check the Facebook rules? I mean, you don't have to worry about it too often. I would just check them. You know, I usually check them maybe once every couple of weeks just to see if anything's changed. But it's usually pretty self-explanatory. How do you keep track of everyone you speak to and ensure you're following up with everyone? I mean, it's a funnel. It's really a funnel in a strategic way. So when you are sending messages out, you always have messages coming in. So you want to make sure that you answer the messages you have coming in and then do a few more out. Then answer them in, do a few more out. Answer them in, do a few more out. So your inbox should always be full. And this should not take you forever, right? It's just your inbox should always be full. And if you're doing it properly, then you're going to spend, like I said, less than an hour just getting those questions answered and then sending a few more out. Let's see here. How much is working with Jess? How many people should you be reaching out to each day? It depends on you and your time. Again, you want to spread it throughout the day. I say 5 to 10 for Facebook and Google Plus per day. That should be a really good amount, and you'll have your hands full at that point. Is there a Spanish website inside of MLSP? I'm not sure. I don't know about that, but that would be a good question for support, for the support of MLSP team. And I would say, again, 5 to 10 messages. Heidi, get back to me. You can send me an email at jess@workwithjess.com, okay? Yes, it's working. Do you and Ray syndicate content from one place to multiple social media formats? Absolutely. So if I have something of value like a video or something, I'm going to post that everywhere. Facebook, Google Plus, LinkedIn. I'm going to post it everywhere. So if I have a video and I post it on my Facebook fan page, I'm also going to share it on my profile. I'm also going to +1 it on Google Plus. The more fishing poles you have in the water, the more fish you're going to catch. And that's just the way I believe it. But again, it all comes down to a daily method of operation. So you want to make sure that you're doing it every day and you're not overwhelming yourself. If you live in another country, do Skype calls. Those work too. Let's see what else we got here. Some great questions. We got a lot. Oh my God, I could go all night, huh? Wow. What's the cost for our seminar? We do have an early bird special for $197, and that actually allows you to bring somebody as well. So we are not going to have that for long. That is only until April 20th for our event that we're doing in Orlando. So that's a good question. and it's 3 full days of content, 3 full days. So that's going to be an amazing event. We're pulling out all the stops, high-end production. It's going to be the biggest event we've ever done. We want to make sure people leave there with a clear vision, and we want people to leave there saying, this is why, this is the moment that changed how I built my business. So it's going to be good. Just signed up today, don't have a product. Let's see what else we got here. Can you share how tagging works? I tried using it and somehow wasn't quite working right. Let's see here. I can. Sometimes tagging is a little off, okay? Sometimes it doesn't work that well, but let me just try and show you here real quick. Most of the time it works, but sometimes you will have some problems. So you know you have to do the @ sign. You have to do the @ sign, then type the person's name in. Like if I want to tag myself on Ray Status, because I'm on his computer, remember, so I don't feel like logging out. So I start typing my name comes up, and I can put that. Now, if you just want to do a first name, you can actually erase the last name, and it'll still tag me. I'm going to post that. Jessica is awesome. I just posted that on his profile. Very cool. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? Let's see, going through these. What was your response to the guy asking about joining multiple MLMs? Good question. My response was, there are very few people that can build two, and the people that make the big money, the big money, usually do one, and they do one for a long time. Now, that does not include affiliate programs. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about things like MLSP to build your business, to help build your business. I'm talking about doing multiple MLMs. Now, you can do multiple if they don't compete. If they compete, it's tough. But if they don't compete, that's pretty simple to work with. And you should be able to be fine because they attract different people. So that was my response, just to choose the best one for him. And he obviously ended up choosing mine because I had built such a great relationship. So, it's just choose how you feel that you could best work the business. Oh, Ronnie, thank you for that. So it's still working out the Google Plus thing, the Google Hangout. So thank you, Ronnie, for that. Hopefully everything is good now. It doesn't keep going back and forth. You know what? Let me go back to. I'm going to turn the screen share off so that way I can answer your questions. Let me see here. Does having a Google Plus account help in website ranking? It absolutely does. Because if people share your stuff, like if you share a blog post on Google Plus and then you Google Plus it, and people start Google Plusing it, which means basically sharing it on Google Plus, just like Facebook, you will get really good rankings because it's like backlinking almost. So it absolutely does. Well, let me start deleting these here. I'm keeping looking. Let me just type. Let's see here. This training, I believe MLSP is recording it, so you should be able to get that in the MLSP back office. I don't know if it'll be available elsewhere, but you should be able to get it there if you missed some, or I was boring and you went in and out, or whatever. So I know I went long tonight, but I appreciate you guys hanging in there, and hopefully you got a lot out of that. I sometimes get leads, but only through email, and when email them with the training from MLSP, I don't get a response. What should I do next? You should call them if they have a phone number. If they only have an email, then you should definitely ask them why they reached out, or say, hey, or try and schedule a time to talk to them on the phone. Just emailing them your MLSP stuff right away can be tricky, because you don't even know if they need that. You haven't asked them, you know, what they need, how you can help them. Remember how I said my first question is always, what can I do for you? How can I help you? That's huge, because you don't know if they need to build a business online, or if they're unhappy in their current company, or if they need training, right? You don't know that. So finding that out is key. Let's see. Dave Prosser said the promote thing used to be $7 and now it's $6.99. They must have gotten complaints or something for the extra penny. Who knows? Let's see. Couldn't find the join group button. That means it's probably a private group. So if you went to a group that you were trying to join and you can't see a join group button, it probably means it's private and you have to be invited to join that group. Do you put videos and MLSP links on your fan page, and do you get conversions that way? Absolutely. When you start building a fan base, you start getting conversions that way. I put them on personal profile too, because you get conversions that way too. Something really cool that Facebook added a while ago, and I didn't cover it, but I'm sure you guys, I did cover it briefly, but I'm sure you guys knew about it, is the subscription button, or the follow button, kind of like Twitter, but it's on Facebook. So on your personal profile now, you're not maxed at 5,000, because you can have somebody click follow, and then they are working with you the whole time. So and seeing your status updates and everything. So that's unlimited, which is really cool, because you can have a bunch of people on your personal and you can start promoting to them. But you want to stick to a simple rule, and I call it the 10-90 rule. 10%, 90% when you're beginning, and then you can kind of gradually go to 70-30. So you want to do 90% content, 10% promotion in the beginning, and then you can kind of keep going towards 70% content and 30% promotion of your business, MLSP, whatever. Okay? Hopefully that helps. All right, guys, it's getting really late, and there are tons of questions on here. If you have a question, you can either post it on the My Lead System Pro fan page. Okay, so post it on there, and I'd be happy to go. I'd be happy to go look at that for you and answer it. I was just reading through some of them real quick. So post it on there, or if you want to send me an email, I don't know how late I'll be up, but I'm happy to answer them as late as I'm up. And it's getting really late, so I want to give you guys the opportunity to actually, you know, get some sleep, absorb what we just learned. And I'm really excited that I had so many people on here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions whatsoever, remember, just post them on the MLSP fan page. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys soon and and seeing some of you guys on there. So appreciate you guys so much. I had so much fun with you guys again. And I'm sorry I can't get to all your questions, but I promise I will. So have a great night, guys. Hope this helped. Hope this gave you tons and tons of value. That was my goal. And I'll see you guys on there. Have a great night.